Matter of fact, we're on different pages. I got to go. This is on GMS Chicago 27.
GMS Chicago 27?
Yeah, y'all, because on their live is on strike right now. So I'm doing this
It
show.
just popped up, so
Yeah.
definitely on.
Yeah, I heard it. Okay. Just,
Check see if we got sound. Yep, we do. All right, so take this
Yep,
back.
you do.
Okay, con. All right, hey, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work. All right, to the scattered elect and to the few aqua that are listening and learning. To you, we say shalom. And we jumping right into this thing as you see the title, plagues, and false prophets. All right, and somebody hold shalom, brother. Somebody hold the second Ezra 9 and Habakkuk the second. And matter of fact, somebody get Isaiah 28, 29. And I'm gonna read this article. And this is off Yahoo News, and it says nearly 1,300 confirmed dead in Haiti earthquake as rescue crews fear aftershock storms. Almost 1,300 people have lost their lives in a major earthquake that struck southwestern Haiti, where the aftershocks are looming. Tropical weather threatened to hinder such and the rescue teams and humanitarian efforts. Officials say on Sunday evening, officials on Sunday evening said 1,297 people were confirmed dead and 30,250 families were homeless following a strong quake that toppled buildings in the nation's southwestern peninsula on Saturday. So, hey, you wait till those things start hitting here in Babylon, man. And guess what? In cities in northern and west and easterly cities, the buildings aren't built to withstand earthquakes any whatsoever. Not that those earthquake-proof buildings out in San Francisco is gonna stand up when the Lord finally sends the ones that's gonna do it. But a lot of these buildings are built with to sway and move. These buildings here are one earthquake hit downtown Chicago, and they put up all them glass buildings too. All them glass, yeah. And it's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be a glorious dream for us though. But it says 30,250 families were homeless following a strong earthquake that toppled buildings in the nation's southwestern peninsula on Saturday, a day after the tremor. People in Haiti's government and across the array of humanitarian organizations said some of the hardest hit communities are in desperate need of potable water, temporary shelters to house families who lost everything. All right. The disaster in Haiti is set against the challenging backdrop of heavy rains from a tropical depression are expected to roll over the region Monday, and political instability 1 month after the country's president was assassinated. Amid uncertainty, aid workers assessed damage and took stock of what will be a significant recovery effort for a country still struggling to recuperate after devastating 2010 earthquake and the Hurricane Matthew in 2016. So they still haven't recovered from those other things. And so they got hit with the hook, the uppercut, and a damn head kick.
And the funny part is that like they said, about a month or so ago, when they assassinated the president, beforehand they were not taking those injectables.
All right.
And so now that they assassinate them, they all of a sudden now they have a whole bunch of new cases, and now they
had no brother. You left something else. Like they had no reported cases.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, somebody find an article that's talking about it because all the scientists were baffled.
Right.
And they weren't talking about it. Shalom, brother. And they weren't talking about it on mainstream media here in America at all. But all the scientists were baffled that there was no cases in Haiti. And the president just came right out and said, look, we got strong immune systems and we got food and natural things that grow here that we eat to take care of that. So we won't be doing that. And then, like you said, a short time later, he got assassinated. And within a couple of days, it was announced that the the Vanessa venom was on its way.
500 500
To
vials, 500,000 vials, I think, at that time.
Yeah, 500 vials of Vanessa venom was on its way to Haiti after that. So,
Uh,
but anybody found an article on that? What those?
see, all the ones are new now. You see, all these other ones are they're the
Yeah,
ones.
they might have deleted and got rid of them all, but there was,
You gotta
you know,
go
what they
back.
were talking about. The scientists were baffled. You know.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna be it's right here on the screen. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen because I don't really want to say too much. I found I had to go back in May. You got to go back before because
Yeah.
scientists are
Before,
baffled.
while he was still alive, and this is what the scientists were saying.
One of the world's most poorest. Hold on, goddamn. I don't actually. That's why he told me. I didn't want all that. One of the world's poorest countries has one of the world's lowest so and so death rates. So how in May they had one of the lowest ones, but now after they assassinate him, oh, we got a crisis now. Just 3-4 months later.
Interesting how that things that make you go,
Mm-hmm. It's right there.
Yeah. Okay, I want to right here. Where you at?
Uh,
I'm gonna pull it up and let you.
are you talking about the article?
No, this is a video. It's a video. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna slide it over there to you.
As long as they don't get be too specific, because I'm gonna stop it.
You know, while you're looking at that, get this.
yeah, you got a scripture, bring it out.
Yes, sir. Psalms 104, 114. He caused the grass to grow for the cattle and the herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the
Yeah,
earth.
Esau bans natural herbs that's supposed to help you, but they get on TV and talking about, oh man, the case is up, oh, we just concerned about people's safety. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're concerned about people's safety, why you been banning or upping up the prices on different herbs and stuff that help the body, human body,
That's
man.
right.
Fucking devil.
That's right. And if they were so care about people's health, why they allow the tobacco industry to still be killing people?
That's it.
Nobody right now, no death is really coming against cancer right now.
Yeah,
Still.
and people die by the thousands from tobacco-related illnesses every fucking day.
That's
It's
right.
so simple like high blood pressure.
Hey,
Ain't no campaign against
All right, and never mind. Go ahead.
you still got some funny commercials. And I should tell you that.
Right.
This real quick, I just googled how many chemicals are in cigarettes.
600 something.
It says 7,000.
God damn.
They said that it's
I
7,000.
heard rat poison is one of them.
Yeah, rat poison.
Especially the menthols, them the worst one. Matter of fact, in most Northern and Southern Kingdom that smoke menthol smoke Newports.
Yep.
And from what I'm told, that's the worst one.
Yeah,
And just for the record, select, I just want to. I don't want to press this because I don't want no shit. But that top article, that top video that's playing, you can see Haiti has no single blah 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 blah.
There it is.
4 months ago.
They had no issues with the big bad thing, and now all of a sudden, and then the scientists were all baffled because everybody else in the world was dealing with it. They had none, and the president said, "Well, there's no need to send Vanessa venom over here because we don't have that problem." And then all of a sudden he gets assassinated, and shipments of Vanessa venom is on its way to the country now.
And now they have a problem.
And now they have a problem. So you see what we're saying here? These people their narratives and the narratives that they're selling, it has more holes in it than the chain link fence.
That's it.
Right? You can't stand behind a chain link fence and say they can't see me.
That's right.
We're looking at you, fool. It's a chain link fence.
And even the ones that put have those facial things, restrictive shit. There's videos out there when they was telling you that don't protect with shit, blowing all kind of smoke and stuff right through it. It's porous.
Yeah, as long as your ears and your eyes are open, you're still vulnerable to anything that's in the air.
Come on, man.
Point blank, period, man. That's why they have doctors that do,
Eyes, ears, nose, throat.
There's the eye, ear, nose specialist. So you can't, in order, you have to have a mask, like a military mask that actually covers your head. It covers up your ears and with the plastic shield around. So your mouth, ears, nose, and eyes have to be covered in order to be protected by something that's possibly airborne and someone coughing on you and that whole thing. And look, something goes airborne, then that's not a virus, it's something else. Viruses don't go airborne.
That's right.
They don't jump, they don't do kung fu flips across the room, to the dude, over there. Ha! Now it's on YouTube.
That's warfare.
That's something else, man.
That's warfare.
Yeah, and speaking of chemicals, we watched them chemtrail the shit out the sky when we at camp yesterday.
Yes, brother.
We watched them doing it. We watched it spread, and then we couldn't help but mention all the dead trees and leaves, and all the trees that look like it's a fucking October already, that are already purple and brown with dead leaves all over them. Yellow and green leaves all over them, like it's completely fall. And shit, they were like that. Some of them in fucking July, some of them in June.
Yeah.
And so I'm not no scientist or anything like that. I'm not giving any medical advice, but I do know that the trees are directly connected to our respiratory system.
Perfect.
And you just happen to have all these dead trees all over America and in other places. I watched a movie that was made up in Canada, and they had the same issue because it was in the woods, and I was seeing the same shit on the trees. All right. And then all of a sudden, you also got all these mad fucking forest fires all over the fucking planet. At the same time, you're having a respiratory illness. Things that make you go,
Yeah. Go ahead.
This Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, because all they wicked things they push it out here is unrighteous decrees anyway, man. Which the waters they pushing all these propagandas. They trying to push the MOTV. That's just showing you what the devil is about, and he ain't about to let up because he know that he got but a short time. You know his time is
somebody
up.
grab
So
that. Revelation 12:12, right?
It's funny that you say that because we talked about this years ago how the horns were short. Now you can see these. They turned into the Texas Longhorns, like you said. These horns are just growing longer and longer.
Oh, like the character Hellboy.
Yeah, exactly.
How he kept trying to shave, cut the horns off.
Exactly.
Right. But then when his horns grew, the fire, and he came into his full power.
Right.
Esau, that's just it though, because when Esau comes into his full power, that's when he's gonna get struck down. That's when the power, he's gonna meet that one power that his power has it has no effect against.
Right.
It's like you hitting the dude with your best shots, everything you got, and he just smiling at you and still walking forward. Right. And he swing and miss in the wind from his blow. You ain't been hit yet. You feel like you've been hit. All right.
Yeah, when they went to
Go ahead and read that Revelation 12.
Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Yeah, and these nations are all riled up and against each other because I just did a response to a video about a possible terrorist and anarchy and et cetera here in America due to the future lockdowns and all the mandates and stuff. And basically they're throwing fire on a fire that's already fuel on a fire that's already lit. And speaking of fires, they also mentioned that all this is being fed by propaganda from China, Russia, and Iran. All right. So China, Russia, and Iran, supposedly, according to Esau's media, is the one feeding all this Count Vanessa Venom stuff that's got people all riled up. But the truth of the matter is that the Count Vanessa Venom shit is the true shit. Yeah. There's this new so-called variant out, and according to the Texas Health Resources, there's not even a test for it. So how are you going to keep saying that there's such and such so-and-so variant, when there's no test for that fucking variant? How the fuck do you know?
Or samples, because they keep we
got a lawsuit going on by major scientific communities from major universities. Top scientists from major universities are all, so it's a lot going on, but that's all propaganda. And yeah, so things hey, look, in Siberia, they said it's the fire in Siberia is bigger than all the other fires that are burning around the world
And
combined.
Siberia is known for its coolness and its
It's
mountains.
a cold ass place.
Mhm.
All right, and all of a sudden the forest and all this shit in Siberia actually happens to be in Russia.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. So was that started naturally?
Exactly.
You think that maybe a couple, just hypothetically, that a couple satellites might have fired on some areas or something? I don't know.
That's right.
I'm not saying, I'm not accusing. I'm not accusing. Right. That play in the heart. Exactly, brother. I like that. Not accusing anyone of anything. It's just things that make you go, all these fucking plagues, man.
This is the book of Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquities, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render upon her a recompense. That's why so much shit is going on across the world. You're talking about the fires here in America, all the way over to Russia. You got earthquakes going from Alaska all the way to Haiti, all over the planet. You have the food droughts, floods. Yeah, floods,
Earthquakes, floods.
I'm talking about in Germany, massive floods. In China,
We
massive
just had
floods.
fucking insects.
Yep.
The
The locusts.
you had the locusts. You had
The snakes, the
you had-
mice.
Yes, you had the mice, the snakes, and you also had spiders in
That's
Australia.
right. That's right.
They had spiders that came out and covered every
That's
goddamn
it.
thing up.
It said,
Spider webs freak me out when they touch me, man. I don't like that
That's
shit.
right. It said Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. That's why they're using this narrative and the whole world. But to prove that the whole world is drunken off of the narrative of Babylon is how is every country doing the exact same procedures to the T that the same thing of Babylon the Great.
They got the same narrative with all the holes in it.
Yep. And
All
then
right.
the ones who didn't come, the 4 countries who said, fuck y'all, all those 4 presidents dead, and now the whole earth, he got the whole world.
Right. You trying to stop the winds of change. You didn't put up a wall, you put up a chain link fence.
There you go.
That's how many holes is in their fucking narrative.
That's right.
And then they get angry when people question it,
It said Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. I love that analogy. Why is the Lord saying take balm for her pain so she may be healed? First of all, before the whole medical crisis came,
Want some petrol-based healing? Some ibuprofen?
right.
All this
Right.
poisonous shit that they give us?
right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before
Ain't
it
no
was-
balm for you, man.
Right. It was first was the financial system that we thought was going to be the major.
And that's
thing.
what I thought it was going
Right.
to be. This took me by surprise.
Yes, but this
I
is
thought the
heightened.
dollar was going to get so bad that we just wasn't going to be able to support anything. I never would have thought that they would create
They had to.
something where you have to create Vanessa venom.
That's the height, the fall of the back. That's how they're hiding the fall of it. The dollar
and they
is
spin
that
it
bad.
up.
Yes.
Well,
And
it
it's
also
worse.
was to cover
Yes, that's
because
that's
it was to cover the fall of the dollar.
Yes.
So now they can blame the fall of the dollar
on something
on
else.
Vanessa venom.
Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
that's what they can do.
Man,
They
that's
can
cool.
blame the fall of the dollar on this whole Vanessa venom situation, and that's what it was all about. Because the dollar really truly, that's where everything was shut down and closing down, and don't forget that we were in the middle of a retail apocalypse here in America, and also a opioid pandemic. When all that was happening, and all of a sudden this thing hit.
Right. It said we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and lifteth up even to the skies. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. That's the reason why Russia, China, they're doing massive war drills. They've been doing massive maneuvers, showing out, doing military whatabam. When they show off their military might. All right, there's been the lines have been drawn in the sand. What's been going on in Afghanistan? Now the Americans trying to pull all of his troops out because now the so-called Taliban being funded by Russia, China, and company. The lines of war are here. The Battle of Armageddon is set. The ushering of the injectable device to come to make sure you got the injectable fluid is right down the street. The coverings are coming back. The lockdowns are coming back. And the Most High's not going to pull off these plagues. And when we say plagues, it's not only
And they
medical, but
built
it's
all, and now the evidence is coming out too about all these FEMA centers
it's it.
that they want to
green zones now.
send the people to that don't want to take the Vanessa venom, which the Vanessa venom is the road that leads you straight to the MOTV.
I'm just gonna put in green zone and CDC.
Somebody get that second Ezra's 9 and whatever you got. Right? Read out.
The second Ezra 15 and verse 9. It said, I'm not verse 9, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. It will smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And the ancient kingdom, Egypt was, when they was in a peak, they were destroyed by plagues. And then you see how we were delivered. So this spiritually Sodom Egypt, in its peak is going to be destroyed by plagues, and we're going to get delivered again.
We getting the plagues that it said it wasn't written in the book. So you get the plagues, the diseases, and things that weren't even written in the book, according to Deuteronomy. Okay, the fires and all the other stuff the brothers are bringing out and whatnot. I mean, all these fires and whatnot. But like I said, look at what the scripture said. This is Luke 12:49. I have come to set fire on earth. And what will I if it be already kindled?
That's it.
So fire, he said, I'm going to show up and pour gasoline. I'm not going to pour gasoline. I'm going to pour some shit you ain't even seen on the fire. Okay? I'm going to pour some extra shit. Watch what happens when look, you don't get gasoline, you don't did this, you did that. Watch what happens when I put nuclear in the midst of this.
And just before you read it, I just want to hit this article just before I move it on. This is from Forbes. Did CDC propose putting high-risk people into camps? Here's what they actually said, and you'll see that they got green zones. This is not a joke. You know what I'm saying? This is they have articles right here. Southeast green zones. U.S. government report looking at putting high-risk people in little green zones, camps, FEMA camps. So this shit's getting real. Go ahead, brother.
This is Sirach 36:6. Shew new signs and make other wonders, strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works.
Right. And I was gonna say also in that second Ezra 15 it says, smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Mm-hmm.
So before the Lord comes, it's already gonna be all manner of mayhem and chaos and wars and fires.
What's going on right now?
Yeah.
Here.
And this is gonna do nothing but hype.
See, matter of fact, there was a preacher that did a lesson. I saw it on my YouTube feed, and it was has tribulation already started? And I said, man, I might have to do a lesson on this because we already in it,
The Lord
bitch.
said what if it be already kindled?
Right,
The Lord is not coming back to the Bud Billiken parade.
right. And we get you. And then
This
this
is
year,
like old happy days, man.
Hey.
Singing. It ain't gonna be like that.
it's funny you mentioned about Billy because it was yesterday.
Yeah, what?
They used to start at like 35th, before 35th, and it used to go all the way up to 51st to 55th. This time they don't start at the 45th Street. They had this shit. This shit is so weak, and they had this shit in and out. Nobody even talked about it. Nobody. Hardly anybody. This shit dead.
Hey,
You didn't hear about it. I forgot it was somebody yesterday.
You want to know what? Here's what's funny. Because they used to push that on, I'll say, black radio
Yeah, all the time.
all the time. Now you know what they pushing? Get that venom.
It was an actual
Get the
pastor.
venom.
It was an actual pastor.
Yeah, and if you think about it, man, they having Lollapalooza, Lollapaloozers. All these you filling up stadiums for ball games. You filling up stadiums for combat sport. You filling up and you're allowing parades and shit like that. All at the time where the most deadliest unknown thing the earth has ever seen is out. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Right, exactly. Delta Airlines flying all over the place. Y'all on fire, man. Right, Delta Airlines flying all over the place, and then you having parties and shit all over the damn country, man. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. All right, and then so it's a recipe for failure, man. Like I said, that whole narrative. This shit is there any wisdom left in Teeman? No.
No.
All right, because their stories and their narratives are getting weaker and weaker as it. And then sometimes I think that you know what they're doing this on purpose so that the people get pissed off so that they can respond. Matter of fact, let me just get that, brother. I'm gonna find this video that I did a response to, and it's only like a minute and 30 seconds long, but I had to because they're gonna tell you so much and telling themselves in the video. So let me find it.
While you looking for that, yeah.
Go ahead, brother. Bring it out, brother.
It's Ezekiel 23, because you said that's they're trying to do that to start this really. This Ezekiel 23 and 23. The Babylonians and all the Chaldeans, Pekaris and Shoris and Korah, and all the Assyrians with them, all of them, desired young men, captains and rulers, great lords and renown, all of them riding upon horses, and they should come against thee with the chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people which shall set against their bucklers and shields.
Salakia, brother. Start it again, brother.
This is Ezekiel 23 and 23. The Babylonians and all the Chaldeans, Pekah and Shepher and Korah, and all the Assyrians with them, all of them desirable young men, captains and rulers, great lords and renowned, all of them ride upon horses, and they shall come against thee with the chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people which shall set against thee bucklers and shields and helmets round about, and I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgment. And they're trying to come down like you read in the Revelations 12 and 12, coming down with the great wrath. They're trying to start that martial law. They're ready to start the chaos so they can order out of chaos. So they could put their agenda in and start putting these people in them camps that they got set up and forcing them to take the waters in the MOTB. So this is the whole agenda so they can come and go. You know, because they read.
No, put up the not my video, the one that I just sent you.
Oh, I thought this is the one you sent. That's what I clicked on. It's like it.
I got
maybe hold on.
That's the one you sent.
Maybe shit. That wasn't what I meant to send you. I meant to send you the actual video. Okay. It's only
a couple seconds.
That was my response to it. Salakia. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, this is Micah 5, 11 and 12.
Oh, yeah, that was mine.
We're talking about how they witchcraft and whatnot is failing them. It says Micah 5, 11 and 12, and I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds. I will cut off witchcraft out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. So all that left hand witchcraft they can tap into, they got real sloppy now.
Yeah, they got a bit extra sloppy.
That's it. Right. That's also scripture, though, right? He said, "Shall understanding be taken out of Teman?" Yep. The Lord is starting. See, the more wicked, like Prophet says, wickedness by its nature is timorous, right? So you can't help but you only go be wicked for so long before your tongue starts falling upon yourself. That we started talking about earlier. Before you start making mistakes, every time you rush a project, you start cutting corners, and every time you start cutting corners, you actually miss a big foundational part of the building, which makes it end up collapsing on any little small shake.
Speaking of that, just saw how they had to tear a ceiling open
just to rescue.
And no, they had to tear a ceiling open to repair leaks. And when they tore the ceiling open, all the trusses, which are the trusses are the wood beams that go across that support the weight and everything. The one that you're looking at all says top, so they put them on upside down.
Wow.
And so the trusses are actually designed differently. The bottom, so you put the bottom and the top, and so
that's what probably
cost. And then I'm looking at this show, I'm like, that's America.
But that probably cost the leak though, because that's pulling the pressure down.
Well, no, that makes the leak worse, and that's how eventually it's going to completely collapse. Yeah. Because the leak, I guess they call them. There's a name for those buildings. They built them all in the early 2000s, and they built a bunch of them. No, those buildings that have the brick front and then the center block sides. Yes, they were called. It's a name for them. It's two front building. No, brick front, and what a center block looks like, right? Right. The front is brick, but the sides are a center block. And they built, and mostly Bucktown and all of them. They built them up and sold them off all this money, all these $1 million, $500,000 condos, and the buildings ain't worth shit. and the people got them. You can't resell them. Nobody will buy those buildings.
Right.
They look real good in the beginning.
They did that down there through 55th through the gentrification.
Right, exactly. Those type of buildings. They're notorious for leaking.
Right.
The center blocks don't block the
No,
water,
right,
and it comes in and it fucks everything up.
Right.
And this happened in this particular building I'm talking about. And when they opened up the ceiling to fix the leak, they saw the trusses. The engineers like this whole building gonna fall
Right.
because they put all the trusses in upside down. And I'm looking at this and hearing this, and I'm like, that's America.
The weight supported is flipped. Like I know.
Right. It's not the top is supposed to be top, and then because they're made different.
The bottom part is reinforced and whatnot. So when you're sitting on it, this won't flex this way.
Right.
Right. But they got it like this. So now this will flex and this will pop down.
There you go.
I got to back you up. This is Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And if you get a worm is underground, it leaves little holes and stuff. If you try to build something under something that got a whole bunch of holes, it's going to
It's
collapse.
like a gopher hole.
All right, it's going to collapse. I got that video upset for you too.
Yeah, and brothers, you might have precepts. This shit heavy, man. I responded to it. But listen closely to this devil and watch how he tells on himself. This shit is all planned. This is true propaganda. That's a matter of fact, that's what I named the video. I named the video something with propaganda in it. And propaganda, in case you brothers didn't know, it literally means to plant doctrinal ideas in the heads of the people, roughly paraphrased. So that you keep saying it over and over again until they hear it so much until they believe it or think that it's fact. When it's
Hitler
not.
said that. Hitler said that. You say a lie, it's like it. Hitler said, if you say a lie enough time, these motherfuckers start beginning to become the truth.
Right.
Well, we used to say it back in the day, about 5 years ago, been accepted.
Yeah. No, but that whole movie Inception, that's really what they're doing.
They're doing a great
Inception.
planetary inception.
That
sounds like a lesson too.
Yeah, they damn, that's crazy. You said it. That is a good lesson.
We used to always play it with
But that's what they doing because in the movie Inception, what they do is they go in your sleep and they plant the fucking thought in your mind subliminally,
which they get right out the scripture.
Right. Because the Lord does that.
It make you believe it.
So now it's your idea, or you believe it, right?
Now you right. So you watching everything about the waters on TV and everything. You hear about it when you sleep. You hear about it when you wake up. You know, most people go to sleep with their TVs on, and then you got that playing in your
it's
head.
Playing while you sleep, while you hearing that shit.
And they really playing on your subconscious.
Yeah.
To seize you at.
And then when you wake up, the only thing you think about is damn, you got the damn water. I got to drink water. You scared about it. But really, they didn't just put the damn thought in your head.
Me and Big Eye, some years ago, I was working out at the airport, but I was in a different position.
Yeah.
And me and Big Eye was talking. And, he was in the sauce a little bit while we was talking.
Yeah.
And we had talked about doing a sit down. He went to sleep, woke up, did the sit down. I'm looking out like, dude, he was like, man, I was just so hot when I woke up for that sit down.
Because you know what I'm saying?
You accepted
like commercials and shit.
Exactly.
I mean, but that's what they do. This is all about marketing. Matter of fact, they got it so cold now. You can say something, and around your phone.
10 minutes.
In 10 minutes, all your ads when you go to Instagram is gonna be about that shit, or you go to YouTube, or you go to Google. It's like, well, I'm just talking about
if you look at something, I'm always looking at swords and knives and weapons, and if you just happen to look at something,
there you go.
All of a sudden, it's all in your suggestions.
Right.
That's all that you see.
But they showed you that. They even showed you that in the commercial where they would show you how they would tap into what's in your wallet, and as you walk by, all these flashes and whatnot of things that you used to doing or like to do. And it'd be advertised as you walking by, and she's like, oh, okay.
Some movies, it's just pop up.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and play that video, brother.
Okay.
Bob Kishar, it's only like a minute and 30 seconds long.
Just the brother wanted me to get this definition of inception. The technical definition will be to take seeds. If you go and break the word all the way down, but the common definition in science fiction is the act of instilling an idea into someone's mind.
That's propaganda.
By entering his or her dreams. That's what they'll say. All right. This is the video.
A warning Friday from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security that violent extremists could try and use the reimposition of COVID-19 related restrictions as a reason to conduct attacks. The department said that COVID-19 related stress has, quote, contributed to increased societal strains and tensions, driving several plots by domestic violent extremists, and they may contribute to more violence this year. In an interview with CNN, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said his department sees domestic violent extremists as, quote, the greatest terrorist-related threat to our homeland, fueled by false narratives and ideologies of hate. The
Pause
bulletin
it, Papa. I thought I could let it go. You hear what these motherfuckers say? Look, the American government has been at war for 225 years of its 243-year existence. And it has never once been defensive. It's always been offensive. They have always been attacking. So you've been attacking people who have been at war 225 years of your existence. But yet you looking for terrorists? That shit, yeah. So and you've always been on the offensive. You're the ones attacking people. You know, popping. Boom, democracy. Boom, democracy.
In the name of democracy.
And nobody's attacking you, but yet you calling other people fucking terrorists.
Wasn't that the Egyptians when they said, let's put the Israelites under rigor because they might join up with somebody and go to war?
Because they outnumbered. Because we outnumbered.
Huh?
Yeah.
But so they do Sodom and Egypt all over again. They want to say they did all these false flag scenarios and whatnot to see the reaction of the people and this, that, and the other. So they know what turnout is going to be for what scenario. Like when they shut the food stamps down and that fat woman in the damn thing. Oh, somebody called the police. She tore up the fucking store. They know who gonna do what for what. So they know, okay, we flip this switch, that opens this gate. We flip this switch, that opens this
So they
gate.
already they know what's gonna happen. So they planning for it. That's what he's telling you right here. Let it finish, bro.
This is just to make the point. You just mentioned the food stamps, right?
Yep.
Brother just put in there that how Biden administration approves the largest increase to food assistance benefits in SNAP program history. So I guarantee you, they're gonna in order to get this largest increase, you want this $1,000, you want the $500 SNAP benefit, you want the $750 SNAP benefit, oh you got 5 kids, or you want a $1,500 SNAP benefit, or make sure you got your injectables and you're good.
Hey, my girl's daughter has already got one for like 20. She didn't get that part of it yet. They already gave her one for $2,600.
Yeah, so they're gonna increase everything. You take the Vanessa Venom and you got the gold card. Right.
Also warned of
That's
the
crazy.
Okay, I get this is not very loud.
The bulletin also warned of the increased risk of, quote, targeted violence as the U.S. prepares to mark the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks and around upcoming religious holidays. The latest DHS bulletin also noted that Al-Qaeda's Arabian Peninsula branch had recently released the first English language version of its Inspire magazine in 4 years, which DHS says is evidence that violent foreign militants are still trying to inspire U.S. followers to engage in attacks. It also warned that media outlets linked to the Russian, Chinese, and Iranian governments had, quote, repeatedly amplified conspiracy theories about the origins of COVID-19 and the effectiveness of vaccines.
So in order to protect their lives, they're already trying to tell you, well, the Iranians and the Russians and the Chinese are responsible for all this stuff that's making you doubt it. All right. But what about all the American scientists and the American medical professionals that are saying it? And it's hundreds, if not thousands, of them saying it. All right.
Y'all, de Blasio called it the key to the city.
Yeah,
Get those waters, then you able to do whatever it is that they see that these motherfuckers
Yeah, well, that's why his ass about to get arrested and lost his damn job.
Mhm. See, because you can't win in Esau Queendom, man. You can't. Even the elites. All right.
Right, he did everything they told him to do, and they still getting his ass.
That's it. Because if he was so powerful, he wouldn't even be touched.
Mhm.
Because, as a matter of fact, you have
Cuomo, right?
yeah, right. You got Gates. They
And
found.
he's in trouble now.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
All
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because
The Lord bringing them all down, man.
man, everything's collapsing, brother. Everything
Yeah,
is collapsing.
his ass getting caught up on that Epstein shit.
Mm-hmm.
All
And
right?
that
And
one
that's the real reason why his man-looking wife divorced him.
and right, and then you
Because
got
he trying to save, right? Because she trying to save face, like she didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
She knew what the fuck was going on. Her manly looking
Going
ass.
too far.
and motherfucker reports that that's Kevin Klein, but I don't know.
Done being your husband, Bill.
They think that's Kevin Klein because he disappeared from acting and looked just like that motherfucker.
Damn.
You know, but that's who knows. You know what I'm saying? I just know
Well,
that
she do look like a dude.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You know.
They showed a picture of Kevin Klein and her. They were-
Calvin Klein.
oh, Kevin,
Kevin
the actor, acting,
Oh,
the actor.
Man, what the fuck is Kevin Klein?
He's Bill Gates' wife. He disappeared.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just gonna say this is what people gonna say. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just, this. You see all kind of crazy shit on there. I'm just gonna see what somebody had to put pictures of shit.
You know, the common saying from the American media is, you can see anything on anything on the internet. All right.
Yeah.
But the craziest shit you see is actually on TV. Just so you know.
Yeah, truth is stranger than
The
fiction.
truth is stranger than fiction.
So that shit could possibly be true. You know what I mean? You can't put nothing past you.
Damn, she do look like a dude.
It's not the same person. This is supposed to be before the V and then after.
What
Well,
the fuck?
I'm not going.
Yeah, that ain't the same woman, man. That ain't the same person. That one, that's a fucking dude, man.
I'm just saying.
That's
just
you
saying.
look like a lady.
I just said something ain't right. I don't know what it is. I don't know, bro. Just saying. Just saying. Hey, but I'm telling you right now, that's the reason why this place is done. That's why Babylon is fallen, and that whole section we just reading earlier is falling from the rooter to the tutor. The Lord is attacking every single infrastructure, every single foundation.
Well, you're right, brother. Slack, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's why I had that video played, because what that's telling you, look, Esau pulled out of Afghanistan. What does that mean? That means that they lost the war.
Yeah.
You don't pull out of something when you're winning or when you won. Same way they pulled out of Vietnam. Why? Because the Viet Cong kicked their ass.
Hey,
All right?
saving face.
So they're saving face. All right. So Esau is done.
That's it.
So that's why he just shows you a video. They know that their narrative is falling apart. So what are they getting ready to do? Now they're just getting ready to move on the people.
Every household is fucked up, brother. Every household, every single household outside of the righteous men of the Lord, who we already lost our households by coming into the truth. We came into the truth. We already went through everything with. That's how the Lord is separating the righteous from the wicked. These little nigglets and niggerettas. I had my sister telling me, please talk to my niece. Please, your niece. Please talk to your nephew and tell him not to go take that axe bay. Please don't do it. Don't tell him. Why? Because her husband convinced her to take the shit. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, and I told her don't take no more because it's gonna compound. But shit, it can take the Heavenly Father, the mercies of the Father to save you on one.
Man, they
All
don't
right?
know what they get ready to happen when they power up that when they power that up.
5G and all the rest of the shit that they do.
Because the shit
It reacts to
people who got people, because it's nanobots in, and they telling you what's in it, and they actually telling people on the fucking mainstream media that it's that fucking hydrogel.
Graphite.
Yeah,
Graphene oxide.
Yes.
You got that. Look, like I said, I use this analogy all the time. Like back in the 40s, when they first started using radar for B-52 bombers and shit like that, the guys wanted them cold ass spots, Minot, North Dakota, and these stop places. The motherfuckers always wanted to work the entry control point. Close boundary perimeter is around the ends of that. The entry control point is on the nose. They wanted to work the nose. Why? Because when they doing that testing or when they running that damn thing, you're standing in a microwave oven. It was always warm to you in the front. Why? Because you cook it from the inside out.
Yeah.
So when they
That's
turn
fucked up. So I can only imagine how many guys are fucked up
To this day.
and from that shit, and how and then the military don't want to give them, probably not paying for their medical and taking care of them. When they
But
lose,
there was a
right?
report on the news on how they're letting the women come into the infantry. So there's one woman who's actually a captain. She came on there saying like, look, I would tell the women, don't come in, don't do it. She said, if you do it, she said, well, why? You have moved through the ranks and you've done well as a woman with the wrong to men. She said, yeah, but at a cost. She said, I can't have babies now. I can't have this. It's a very big toll on you. And the standards for them are different. She started breaking it all down. She said, I know you must be some people kind of mad at you from saying what you're saying. She said, I don't care. I'm just warning the people
there's
to
certain
know what the fuck is
places
going on.
where men go, the women don't belong.
That's it.
Just like they got out in California and in the UK. You got all these pregnant inmates because they put these transgender men in prison with women, and so it's a smart move because it's like, fuck, I'm going to prison. I identify as a woman, so they send you to a prison, and you up in prison banging every damn thing. And so all the inmates is getting fucking pregnant and shit. Right. Yeah. So that's just no.
I had a
it's
momentary
like,
lapse.
so you locked up, and then they trying to make it like the women. If them women in there horny as fuck, and you got a man with a whole dick in the cell with you.
Oh, I just
If I
relapsed.
wasn't,
I just relapsed.
if I wasn't a woman, why would I wear this wig?
Hey, the nigga smart. He's like, well, fuck, I'm going to prison. Shit, I identify as a woman. Right.
JT life. You see the wig, right?
I'm over. Oh, that's smart. I probably, if I go to jail, I probably do some shit like that.
And he's like, look, so you get and the same shit going on in the UK. That's how you know that this man is not fit for rulership. And then you got women complaining all on the internet. You can look this shit up. How these women need to be protected. No, you was the one, and you women were the main ones pushing for that shit. It's even some of these false prophets. We gonna get on them too. Some of these false prophets in these churches agree to that bullshit, man.
But that goes bringing it to the false prophets. The false prophets are the ones. Matter of fact, you got false prophets that teach gospel. False against the gospel of the Lord. But then you got false prophets that tell you that these people who are agnostic, you're telling them that this is how life is supposed to be. That's a false prophet too.
Hey, look, man.
Right?
Did not the Lord say? Somebody grabs Sirach. I think it's 12 and 10 and 11. Never trust that in them about the show.
It's 12.
All right, but yet you got men who are supposedly feeding the flock, telling the flock to go out and take Vanessa Waters, man.
Oh,
Man.
To get double Vanessa Waters, man.
Captain Cesario, so under the orders of
Ghana.
Mr. Doing the butt,
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Mr. Get the Vaseline.
Yeah, he said,
That's
yeah.
right. And I got that all queued up, and I'm not playing it because I don't want them to. I got can't even play it.
Yeah, because you know they plugged in.
Oh, they juiced it, bro.
They juiced it.
Yeah,
got that.
So we done heard about everybody that spoke against them. Their videos didn't get taken down. And then they juiced in and they them dudes was, if you can't see that they fucking Judas goats. And I thought IUIC was bad.
Right.
Damn.
Hey.
These niggas, because at least IUIC ain't all at the damn range and militant gear firing automatic weapons and shit so that they can take that footage and then try to use that to make it look like the Hebrew Israelites are some radical, dangerous group. And all them duffel bag boys, the pull-up boys. So like I said the other day, man, somebody pulled up and gave them the damn duffel bag.
That's it.
And the next thing you know, Hebrews is not really of the Bible. You know? They get another duffel bag and then another thing in the doctrine change, man.
That's it. That's it.
You
And
get a duffel bag. Oh, it's okay to take Vanessa venom.
And then you got Sicario, all these bulletproof vests and out taking pictures with these goddamn MKs and the AR-15s and all other good shit. I heard about they got a reality TV show coming. They're making a reality TV show, bro.
They juiced in.
I got
They going out, man.
This Isaiah 9, I'm starting 14. Therefore, Yahweh will cut off from Israel ear and tail, branch and rush in one day. The ancient and honorable, he is the head. The prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that live of them are destroyed.
I mean, everything the Bible teaches from Genesis to Revelations is whoever the real Israelites, whoever the real believers, which cuts those so-called fake-ass Christians too, to separate yourself from the societies of this world and walk a life outside of them, inside that society, but on the outside. You only go out to take care of what you need to do. Doris said, be not unequally yoked with unbelievers. He tells you not to fall, but never trust thine enemy, which we're about to read in a second.
The Lord walk together.
Can two walk together unless they agree? And you're telling me that y'all pushing all these narratives that's in congruence and in agreement with this American Babylonian system, and you're supposed to be prophets of the Lord? Most High gonna get you.
Hit this real quick. This is James 4:4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship with the world is enmity with the Most High?
Enemy to the Yahweh.
Right? So if I'm gonna keep reading. It said, whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High. So if you pumping anything that's worldly, whether it's getting watered, because that's completely against the scriptures, right? Trusting in the society and pumping this Babylonian mindset, and you're an enemy of the Heavenly Father, man. Right? That means you're an enemy of Yahushua. That means you're an enemy of the prophets, man.
Hey, you know what? That reminds me of that movie. What's that? Untouchable. When was it Robert De Niro? Was it Robert De Niro?
Yeah, De Niro, Sean Connery. What's his name? Benjamin. What's his name? Stones. Andy Garcia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is like, remember when he was standing up there talking about how Robert De Niro was playing Capone? He had that baseball bat, and the guy was sitting at his own table, right?
Yeah.
He said, but he bashed his brains in. You ain't part of me. You guys out there trying to teach to go contrary to the doctrine. The Yahweh Shai coming back, he gonna bust your head open with a baseball bat, nigga.
And that's gonna fulfill the scripture where the Lord said, they're gonna say, Lord, Lord. And he said, get thee away from me.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
A lot of these guys who it's gonna get brought before Yahushua in Luke 19:27.
Slam.
You know?
Off with his head.
That's why I said a baseball bat.
Hey. Yeah, because I mean, and a lot of you niggas is just so stupid, man. You know, that y'all done took this curse from Esau, and even throughout history, it shows you that this dude is not a good contract. Right. He don't uphold his deal of the agreement.
Never.
Man, so just go talk to the Gadites, talk to the so-called Native Americans, man.
Right.
Over 550.
Trees.
I believe it was 550 trees, if I'm not mistaken. That's close to that number. That they broke. They broke every last one of them. Every treaty that they made with Gad, they broke, man.
So what makes you think? What makes you think when all hell breaks loose, you ain't gonna be on that list right along with the real men of the Lord?
Hey.
Then you ain't gonna have to worry about us. You have to worry about your congregation.
And they're already talking about how they're tracking everything and everyone. Everyone who if you like a video like this, if you watch a video like this, you are on their list.
That's right.
All right, but guess what? They on your house list, man.
That's right. Exactly.
So it don't matter what the fuck they do, because this time bring it, because the Lord's lifting up a standard this time, man. Hurry the fuck up. Turn the lights out. Everything is set. It's coming, man. It's coming soon. What you got?
I got it.
You've been sitting there holding some patience.
I got 2 Ezra 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. So that's talking about the Lollapalooza and these airports, these fast-out restaurants. You know, if you don't get that Vanessa, you can't go in. You know.
Come on, and you know what? And that's gonna backfire on them too.
Right.
You know why that's gonna backfire on them too? Because these people, those places have already taken a substantial substantial financial loss. Right. And now guess what you can ready to do? You get ready to cut off half their money again.
Right.
And they're already and almost them are already operating in the red. Ain't none of them in the black. So it's going to backfire. And these business owners that are down with it, they're going to quickly realize that, God damn, I need them, because the most of your money is coming from the people who are not taking the Vanessa venom, man. And so now you get ready to cut off, and it's a whole lot of white people, so-called white people, that have not taken the Vanessa venom, and they ain't with that shit.
No.
Yeah.
Probably more than half of them. At least half of them. All right.
They
So you can really lose, and then guess what? They're the ones they're frequenting and going to the restaurants, and now you're getting ready to cut off half the money. So now the business owners are gonna get frustrated really quickly because they're gonna see their bottom lines drop very quickly. So this shit is gonna just spiral out of fucking control.
It's
They
one.
they even making it mandatory for people. Talk to a friend. She said she couldn't even take care of her grandmother without getting it. So they made her get it to even take care of home
She's a
care.
primary health
Yeah,
care.
she take care for her grandmother. She basically keeping her alive. And they say, well, you can't care for her no more if you don't take it. Basically, we gonna take your grandmother. And we gonna
Yeah,
take
in
it.
Australia they already snatching up people's children. So
Right.
that's gonna make, and see, in Australia they ain't heavily armed like America. America got
They
more
don't
guns
got
than
them.
people.
Yeah.
All right.
It's funny because it was an article of a TikTok or one of them earlier today where Jake and his family had a house birth. They had their baby in home, and since whoever the midwife service must report it to them, and while they was out and about on their day, because they just had baby a couple days, they were doing whatever they was doing, they were surrounding them by popos coming to take that baby because they didn't come through Esau system. And they just didn't get registered and get the whole birth certificate out the bam. They're trying to take, now I don't know what happened to the end of it, but they coming for them babies, bro. That's not your property. Anything over here in America is their property, bro.
And people are waiting. That's another thing too.
That's what gonna
The
make
people.
it great. Yeah.
There's another video that I have to do a response to with the guys talking about the mass awakening of American people, and there's too many waking up.
Yep.
So they're gonna have to reduce numbers and do some really bad shit really soon. It's a video that I watched yesterday that Yahweh Ratazam will get to it and do a lesson on it.
I just put a.
I might just say a scripture to and just let it play and don't say shit. That's how heavy it is.
I just put a video. If you could, Elder, I just put a video in the group me real quick. Can you play it real quick, Baba Show? I just put it in the group just
Did
now.
you put it in the info room?
No, I put it in the regular room.
It's okay. I just had to stop the share because I don't want personal information coming.
No, it's real quick. It's like 33 seconds.
Give me a second to pull it up.
Yeah, like them TikTok videos, they killing them, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody, that's why they want to get rid of TikTok.
Yeah,
And that's Chinese
Yeah,
anyway.
right. And then that's this new chick. I've been reposted a lot of her videos, man. They be on point. Zay, and they exposing the shit out of it. Okay.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, and they not and stuff like this. And see, they let stuff like this go up on YouTube now. Often, it's going up.
So much. They
So
can't control it
so
all.
maybe it's just so much. So is that propaganda? Is that misinformation from China, Russia, or no? These are coming from Americans, man.
Yeah, I put a video up like that. I didn't say anything on it. I just at the end of it when it's done, I said, nah, I ain't said a word. But what are these people talking about?
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man.
Exactly.
Let it play. Let's see.
That's the funny thing is, I'm gonna start it again. I might have to slow this one down because the guy is just, and I'm gonna turn the music.
Yeah,
down
he did it too fast.
Yeah.
He actually, it's a great idea, but he did it too fast.
That's right. That's okay. That's why we got a little
He
playback.
should have let it go slow,
Yeah.
and it had more of effect.
That's why I'm taking it down back a little. I'm turning that music down.
Yeah, that shit is garbage.
Right.
Bad choice of music.
35-year-old woman dies of brain hemorrhage. 39-year-old dies after second of them. 3 dozen cases of spontaneous miscarriages. Breastfeeding baby dies that the mother receives. Doctor dies. 36 others develop rare disorders. Fully dead person dies. Yeah, it's just showing article after article of that, but they're not. But this is, I'm shut up because I don't want to. I'm because I'm about to speak too
There
plain.
you go. And then this is right. And
said
it's
baby
all
died
behind
while
Vanessa Venom. And that's what I'm saying. The narrative is, the more that this narrative is exposed, the harder they push it.
Yep.
It's like, well, damn, we could, you like putting the cheese on a rat trap, and the rats are looking at it.
That's right.
Hey, no,
Oh, shoot.
you put the cheese on the rat trap, but you ain't spraying it. You just put the food out there. Because everybody sees what's going on. So what you think gonna happen? I mean, like you said, the people that have made up their mind, they not.
I
They
mean,
not.
and this shows you that what they own, because like my wife, she's pregnant, and they was trying to force her to give it to the baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
But a baby died while the woman was breastfeeding her child, and she had the waters.
Oh
A
man.
baby died on the mother's
on the nipple. Yeah.
There it is.
That shit is deadly. That means it affects not only it affects
your whole system.
you, but it affects.
Well, I actually heard how someone talking about how this thing moves from the, normally when you get, any type of Vanessa venom,
Right.
it stays primarily in that area. They're talking about how this one goes to everything and everywhere.
They see a transfusion in your veins, all up in your skin. They put a black light, and they can see a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one just to back you up real quick. What you just said. This is Proverbs 1:17. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird.
Surely in vain is the net spread
in the sight
of any bird.
Let me say it again. This is Proverbs 1:17. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Just like the elder just said, you don't put the trap in front of the damn animals that you're trying to catch. Like, nigga, no, like it's not a trap. It's food. It's inside.
Right. Fucking, you trying to catch a damn rabbit or squirrel. They like,
it's inside.
Right.
It's food inside. You can smell it, right?
Right.
You know.
Well, what's that lock for, you guys?
I mean, but what are the teeth on the side?
Right.
The snappy part.
Right.
No, it's not snappy.
That's not meant for you. That's for intruders. That's for intruders. Not for you.
You know.
You're protected. See, but that's the same thing. Just like in the second Maccabees, first Maccabees, when the Antiochus came, had people coming to Israel, and they had this big ass army and shit. There's nothing to see here. This is all peaceable. Hey, we just passing through. And everybody's, we were scared for we were about to fight and shit. Okay, y'all good?
We thought it was something wrong, man.
And then
We saw them swords and spears. And,
That's right.
we okay, all right.
The war elephants and everything.
Right. But since y'all ain't come in peace, it's cool. But then this Lord says, as soon as they gave them credence, they fell slutting on them and killed many of them and burnt the city, man.
Mm-hmm.
Quintus, why are you armed?
And I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Why are you armed?
He said they inside. I was just about to say it.
He incepted.
He said he said right. Hey, that was and I love that movie, man. He was like, because they talking and he's like, talking to him and washing his hands, and he's like, Quintus, why are you on? Because when you didn't have your weapons were in the armory at that time.
Right.
All of a sudden, Quintus show up with some other soldiers and they armed.
Right.
All right. Why? Because some bullshit about to go down. Like, cool.
Yeah.
And somebody wanted him to bow to the ring
Mm-hmm.
and accept the bullshit. And he, but how you and his father had already told him what the deal was.
Yeah.
So he was like, and that's and he knew he wasn't gonna bow to the bullshit. That's why Quintus was on.
Yeah.
If you brothers have never seen it, don't know what we're talking about. Because basically, the father had already told Maximus that Quintus can't rule. I mean, not Quintus, but I forget it.
Maximus,
the son's name.
Commodus.
Commodus. He said Commodus can't rule, and he said he said that he was just wicked. He knew his son was wicked and uncontrollable, and basically he told him he can't rule. This man is not fit to rule.
Mm.
He said, "What you gonna do?" He was like, "Well, I don't know any shit about that." And he said, "I'm a general. I'm a soldier." And he said, "That's more the reason why I want you to do it, because you have been corrupted by the bullshit that goes on there."
Politics.
And he said, "You're just gonna hold it down until the next emperor comes." And this is what he told him. Yeah, he's the number one guy, and all of a sudden the son show up. Have him brought before him to tell him to bow to the ring. My father has died, and he was like, "Shit, nigga, your father just told me you can't rule."
Hey,
Now we got a problem.
You
I
done
got-
killed your daddy.
I got precepts. This is Ezekiel 21. I'm gonna start at 8. The point is in 10 though. This is Ezekiel 21 and 8. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy, say, thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It continues the rod of my son as every tree, and he have given it to be furbished that it may be handled. Right? So this weapon is going to be used. Nobody buys the weapon just to look at it. Okay.
That's right.
The sword. Right. We read that again. And
Yeah, we mention it all the time, man. It's not gonna be. They're not gonna be looking at all these nuclear warheads.
Thank you.
Satan 1 and Satan 2 talking about, well, you know, these could have once
Yeah, this been decommissioned.
could have destroyed the whole earth, but
yeah.
you know, now we just shine them up, polish them, and keep them dusted off.
Yeah,
Right.
We keep them at the right temperature because we don't want nothing to happen.
Yeah. Right.
right.
And he have given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. So hey man, these pits that they're digging, hey, look, follow the money, man. Watch, don't ever pay attention to what somebody says. Pay attention to what they do. Pay attention to where they spending their money at. They buying guillotines. They're buying hollow points. They're digging holes. They're building concentration camps.
Yeah.
They're making coffins.
They got their domes.
Yeah.
And they set up. Somebody grabbed the Ezekiel that Kazak Bar Yahweh to put up. And right, and they're making their domes, and they strategically set up all these military vehicles all over the place, and a ton of them went to the south because they know they're gonna meet a lot of resistance in the south, man.
Bible Belt.
You know, in the Bible Belt, right? So a lot of and most of that most of the images from the videos that short video we were watching, most of those were the Bible Belt Southerners.
That's right. Plus some cussing. Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of them Jake too, man. This is Ezekiel 7 and 2. Also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord power unto the land of Israel. And in one of my favorite scriptures, and end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and I will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. Now, and for the record, and I ask this question to a lot of people, especially when we first breaking bread with somebody, has Esau, Edom, Babylon, the so-called white man, got paid back for anything that he's done to the Native Americans, to the Latinos, to the Negroes, that George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or all these other so-called Edomites? No, they died in their wealth and passed on their generational wealth to the people who are taking advantage of it right now, following systems that's been set up. The Rockefeller letter that was set back there in the 1800s, motherfuckers been following that shit hook, line, and sinker to the 2000s.
And J.D. Rockefeller was a motherfucker.
That's it.
All right, we know for a fact that he bought out the pharmaceuticals. He took it over.
That's right.
That we know for a fact that he paid huge sums of money to the charity money to the AMA, and then he got control over it, and it went from all the natural healing, you know, all the Zaquan Karab was talking about all the natural healing. Any doctor, any healer that talked about foods is medicine, and about natural remedies and holistic, they got deemed as quacks. All right. A lot of them lost their licenses, and some of them even got locked up. All right. Anyone who spoke out against it or complained about it. All right. And then why? Because he was an oil tycoon. So then all of a sudden you have these petroleum-based medicines like aspirin and ibuprofen and the different shit that you get from the pharmacies today. All right. You have the oil-based, those petroleum-based medicines that they started pushing. And then within a decade, all the evidence has started to appear that these petroleum-based medicines were making people sick with cancer. And then what did J.D. Rockefeller did? Then he bought out and took over the American Cancer Association. He actually started it.
And books like this, Henneman's Encyclopedia of Fruits, Vegetables, and Herbs, all right, which you can go in here and look at just the top, just read a couple. Abdominal pain, acne, adenoids, alcoholism, allergies, and anemia, angina, anxiety, arthritis, to cancer, to worms, to varicose veins. There's got a natural remedy in fruits and vegetables and herbs that help you with
Which
every
means you
single
have
thing.
people who dedicate their lives to growing these things and then prescribing them to people and helping them to heal.
Yeah.
And that was an action, and right. Who also knew how to sew up a wound and and stop bleeding and all that stuff too. And they were legitimate, bona fide doctors. But now all of a sudden, people who had that knowledge are ordained as quacks.
That's it. It's Dr. Sebi or they
And then, like Dr. Sebi, right? And then not to mention that it's funny. This right around the time that we have this world outbreak of this issue that we have, this respiratory issue,
medical crisis.
That like 5-6 years before that, you had hundreds of holistic doctors that ended up dead.
Yeah.
Remember that all them doctors? It was like 700 doctors across America and Europe and across Canada. All these doctors died. All holistic doctors, and Dr. Sebi being probably the most the most profound one out of all of them. Well, because the dude went into the court to a Supreme Court and clowned the damn judge, all right? Because he brought the evidences that he had cured HIV/AIDS, herpes, syphilis, all things that are not supposed to be. But then and now they play commercials today. There's still no cure for HIV. You a lying fucker. Dr. Sebi cured it and he proved it in the court of law. All right. They asked him for 7. I think they asked him to have to prove the judge is like, well, then I need to see 7 cases with the documentation to prove it. He had 30-some people show up, and a lot of them came, and a lot of them, yeah. How many? 70. Woo! Yeah, so he had 70 show up, and they said a bunch of people came from the land of Israel. So he healed a lot of people. The Amalekites, he healed a lot of them of them dirty diseases that they had.
Man. They kicked him out. They kicked him out of the country. He was banned to come to the United States.
Right, because why? Because he was a threat to that pharmaceutical system, which is a multi-billion-dollar, just like I'm a threat to their billion-dollar Title 14 shit.
That's it. That's
It's the same shit, man.
And
so they trying to block
everything,
stuff from happening, man.
That's it. Like we're a threat to everything that they
It's
stand
just
for.
like the device called the sonic pulsar. They found out years ago. The school, the Albert Einstein School in Washington D.C., found out that by shooting microamps of electricity through your arteries, which goes through your whole body, it electrifies your blood. That viruses can't attach to your blood. So they had this years ago, and they banned the sonic pulsar from being sold in the United States. Now you can buy it. And you can buy it in England, you can buy it in London, you can buy it all these different places.
They probably shut this shit down over there.
Because what happened is a lot of doctors started to use electricity to cure their patients of cancer because the
cancer cells couldn't live.
They couldn't live because what happened is they was electrocuting with microamps the tumors, and the tumors was shrinking, and they said they was using oxidized water too. And they say within a short period of time that these people was getting cured of cancer. They've been because
their money. Look, because
don't make
think
no
about
money.
it. The money, and I've often heard them say the money is not in the cure. The money's in the research. So I have to constantly be getting funds and all this money from the government to do all this research. And meanwhile, that money is funneling its way to everybody who's involved, and why people are dying. Because they don't want no miracle thing that's going to cure everything. Because now that whole money, that whole branch of that money stream is dead.
There was a report.
Right? It's like a drug dealer, man. Look, a drug dealer wants to get you hooked on his shit so that you keep coming back to him. If I sell you a pill and you just stay high forever, I ain't gonna see your ass no more.
Exactly.
You stumble by me a week later. Hey, you're gone. All right, you ain't right. You still happy and shit.
There was a meme where it was like 2 Edomite junkies, like all strung out, half asleep. And the dude, it was a Jake. He's like, I look like this. He was all blinged out, Gucci belt, chain blinging and shit. He's like, I look like this. No, they look like that, so I could look like this.
Damn. There it is.
Same thing with the pharmaceuticals. They got to keep you sick so they can keep on making money off you.
There it is, man. Just like they got to keep people in prison cells so that they can keep money, man.
This is a doctor who scammed millions of cancer patients, is jailed for 45 years. He will get people, mostly Jake, they'll come in for a checkup and say, oh, I found some cancer. We're gonna get you. You need to start your chemo. Start watching it's healthy motherfuckers. Start giving them chemo and keeping on chemo and just bilk them till they die. And every
And oh, you got insurance? Oh, I got. Don't worry about
and that's
it.
what was.
So he was looking for the people with insurance
for 45 years. You know
This
how many
mother-
people that he killed over that time? So this is the
And
shit
what-
that they doing, bro.
Put his face up on the screen. Because what do I say every fucking week? I say never trust bald-faced men that wear neckties. When are you niggas and spiggers gonna listen, man? You can never trust a man with a bald fucking face and a necktie. That's the truth. That's the most dangerous man, especially if he's pale.
I got ready today.
That's some shit right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a wicked motherfucker, boy.
No, but this he's so that's their nature.
He was falsely diagnosed.
He's part of the problem, though. He is part of the pharmaceutical program, right?
Now, I'm sure that they got caught. He pissed somebody off.
He pissed somebody off.
He pissed somebody. You know what? He pissed somebody off because he was actually doing them good. They're right.
Somebody he killed the wrong person. He did too many times, or he pissed somebody. Like you say, he pissed one of his colleagues off. Yeah,
because they ain't gonna get mad if he killed. You know, unless he fucking killed Denzel or some shit like that. You know, some super coon that make him look good. You know. Right.
It's the wrong one.
See that?
Not him.
Right, Sam Jackson. You can't kill the motherfucker, dude.
Let's see if I can find it. I'm trying to find the same one here. Ah, shit! I gotta pull. I gotta put the name of the article.
Well, just say his name. You ain't got. You say his name again. Just mention it. You know.
Matter of fact, I just put it.
I just wanted them to see his pale ass face.
I got it right here.
How bald with that necktie.
I'll just pull it out right here. Here you go. You can see it right here.
Oh shit!
Like
Red as fuck. Red with a red tie.
It says a multi-millionaire doctor who plunged hundreds of patients into bankruptcy by falsely diagnosing cancer and giving them unnecessary chemo is jailed for 45 years. Yeah, Dr. Farid.
And actually, he should just get shot up with cancer.
It's the top one.
Yeah, they need to give him cancer, no treatment, and just let him die like that. Just like the Lord said, you know, you're gonna be a victim of your own device. Roughly paraphrase.
And that's it. He that diggeth the pit shall fall therein. He that throws the stone is gonna come back on your own fate, man. There you go. Dr. Farid Fatah gave 533 patients excessive and grueling cancer treatments. He then billed insurance firms, scamming millions of dollars in the process.
That's some serious hate right there. And guess what? His children, his wife, his family, his friends, all prospered and benefited from this shit.
Hey, when he was telling them these things, he was probably saying how speaking smooth words, smoother than butter, how much he's going to help them and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, don't you worry. I'm sure someone broke down and cried.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. But he was there to
how's it
pat him
happening
on
to
the
me?
back.
They know family. The cancer don't even run in my family. How did this happen?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Hey, but he was not satisfied with blood.
There you go.
He continued to do it, man. And the people gave him creed.
That's it.
That nigga get rich on murder.
That's it. But that's Esau
guess what?
Edom.
Yeah.
All Edomites
Yes.
that are wealthy.
Yeah.
You know, someone, there was a statement that someone left it on one of my videos, and it said, behind great wealth is always a great crime.
That's it.
Damn. Yeah, he said, yeah. So I remember reading that as a comment. He said, behind, and anytime there's a great wealth that's been gotten, there's been a great crime.
Yeah, look at Bill Gates. Him and his roommate, what they do, they come up with that idea. He just beat them to the punch and whatnot. And I remember when he went public with that shit.
Yeah. Well, there's a great crime, and then what did he do after he invented the after he even if he did do it, because that's just a story they tell. But someone said that it was actually a Jake that did it, but nevertheless, but even if that was so, then what did he do? He came up with computer viruses.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And then they sell the software to clean the virus.
So
think about it. So
years.
what like that meme said. So so damn. Well, what if
Well, they made this bitch
and sell the saying.
Go
Ephesians 5:12. But it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret.
There it is, man. So there's another saying that there's a couple sayings. One of them is that in a time of lies, it's a revolutionary act to speak the truth, man.
It's a matter of fact, we never even got that Sirach 12 yet.
Con. Yeah, but in that time, we can finish with that. Go ahead and bring it out, brother.
Sirach 12.
I got you.
No, he got it on the screen.
Yeah, okay.
Just read it off the screen.
All right, Sirach 12, and I'll start off with I'm gonna start with 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. And you can't say not only America, but the planet is not going through extreme adverse times right now. That's why the Lord is showing you the lines of who you really to trust. All right, for those who have the sense of the Spirit. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. So why? Never trust thine enemy. For as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself, like you just said, so you have your family, you got your family, yes, it's going to be okay. He'd sit there and lie to you. He's going to cajole you. He's going to tell you that, we have not ever given more than $200-300 for food stamps. Now we're going to give you $500. It's going to be a catch. A gift destroys the heart. All right, it's going to always be something. He says, never trust thine enemy, like iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? So one that goeth to a sinner is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity. Right? That's why we don't give a damn about whoever take the Vanessa. We don't care who take the injectable devices. What we're looking for is the righteous hope we elect the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the biblical Israelites by blood, and the scattered speckled bird that looks like all the nations who believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, believe in the Israelites being the sons of the Heavenly Father, and are preparing themselves mentally, spiritually, in whatever way they can for what's coming down the pipe, and it's right around the fucking corner.
Yeah.
Did you want me to read some more about it?
No. That's some point, brother. So with that, we're gonna give all praises, glory, and honor unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Wa Abba Ball.
Turn